we now have Miss Isabel Guardado.
Hello, I saw you waving before.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, tell me about you in letters. Do you ever?
It I had it on letter.
You have one letter.
I did I here Amber a
Do you like to get letters?
Say yes.
Yes.
Everybody does. I'll tell you, you just reminded me of something, you know, when many years ago, my brother, who's a couple of years younger than I am, said to me, you know, when we were young, and I think he means like in grammar school, you always used to get letters from people and I never did. How come? Good question. And I said, because I wrote letters to people and they answered me. So if you ever feel like getting letters, it's kind of a nice thing to just write a few and put them in a mailbox.
Okay. I love it writing and I was acting, music, dance,
Good for you.
and I did it. I it one action.
Do you have a favorite teacher?
My favorite teacher is David.
Okay. And do you know where that teacher lives?
My teachers live in California. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know, if somebody could get you an address, you could write a letter to that teacher and just say, you were my favorite teacher, and sign your name with a big heart. You could do that. Do you think you might consider doing that?
Yes.
You know, I want to tell you something. Teachers need to know that you remember them with love, just like everybody. I hope you do it. Thank you for talking to me about this.
And thank you.
You're welcome, sweetheart. It's just take good care and get that letter written to that favorite teacher. Okay. Teachers and doctors and nurses and anybody who's helped us. You know, sometimes those teachers, well, teachers for sure, but sometimes doctors and nurses have just helped us tiptoe past death sometimes when we've been very sick. And a letter to them to say, thank you. I know what you did for me. Love in your name. It makes their day. And I know this because I wrote a letter to a nurse once who was fabulous. And a friend of mine who's a nurse said, you know, we don't get letters. We don't get many letters from people. People tend to write letters when they're upset or they're angry. All right. That's not going to get you much. But a letter when you feel love for somebody who has helped you, that means the world. Okay, David, who's next?
We have Matthew Selden.
Hello, Janet.
Hi, Matthew. Nice to meet you. What is all that background?
It's the evolution land.
That's pretty nifty looking.
So I'm an animator.
Oh, you are? Yes.
So also, so I know about like, so I should like write letters to the it's that, yeah, think of writing letters that, like to the company.
Okay. Have you done that or you're thinking of doing it?
I know, think of doing it. So about, so so I do not own the, so I don't own those characters. That belongs to Nintendo.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Game Freak.
Now, I want to say something. We're talking about writing one letter to somebody. There's something, it doesn't have to be a one-shot deal. I think writing love letters is really a way of life. And my husband used to laugh at me because every night I'd have about 4 letters in envelopes ready to go. And I'll tell you why. I found it so soothing and comforting to write letters to people I cared about. Short letters, usually. And there's something about
I know, I don't mind do short letters.
you don't.
I do.
You do. Okay. They're easier to pay attention to, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you probably, you say to the company, there's probably what, many people in that company that you like?
Yeah. Yeah, such as Nintendo.
Uh-huh.
So so I hope like so Nintendo do that animated stuff.
Well,
So
I've
what,
got
they start making cartoons other than video games.
good for you. I know we all love those. I have a thought, and that is to take one person a month. That's not a lot of time. One person a month that you care about and that you appreciate, and just write a short little note saying, I appreciate you so much. Stamp it and stick it in the mailbox. Will you consider
right.
that?
Yeah, it's I've done mailing before.
You what?
I know I've done mailing before.
Oh, good. Okay. And by the way,
So I think I went on Reddit website. Yeah, I think like a couple years ago. I think I trade amiibo cards with someone.
uh-huh. Yes. Oh, it's wonderful. There's so many things you can put in that little envelope. Yes. Well, thank you for talking to me about this. I wish
You're
you well,
welcome.
and I love the background. Thank you.
Well, we have Jonathan Roth next. Jonathan Roth.
Hi, Jonathan.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm Yin.
Good. So let me ask my always question. Have you ever gotten a letter that's meant a lot to you? Somebody write to you a letter?
I have, yes. My grandma.
Can you tell us about it?
Right? My grandma lives in New Jersey. So on my birthday or Christmas, I get a letter.
Nice. Did you keep that letter?
I do, yeah.
See, I think people keep those love letters. I don't think we throw them away. And every year on your birthday or whenever you feel like it, you can bring that letter out and just be reminded of yet another person who loves you, right?
Yes,
Did you write back to that person?
I did, yes.
Nice. Okay, so then you're right in there. If you got a letter today from somebody, what would you like to hear most about yourself?
I want to hear about my love of music.
Music. Okay. Can you tell us about your music?
Okay, so I'm a songwriter.
You're a what, honey? I'm sorry, I missed that.
I'm a songwriter.
Oh, a
And I
songwriter.
write my
Uh-huh.
own music.
Yes.
And
And
I
what would you
grew
like
up
somebody to know?
writing- One of the things I grew up doing is writing music.
That's a way of expressing love, isn't it? It can be.
Yeah, it is.
Yes. What kind of songs do you write? Can you say?
I write original
What?
songs.
It sounds very good. Well, you've got a lot of things you could put in an envelope and send to people. I hope you do it.
And you.
Thank you.
Well, let's see. I think Anise Bullock. Anise Bullock is next.
Okay.
Let's see.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I like that blouse. I know.
Thank
The
you.
world is a fashion show. Okay. So tell me about you in letters. Like, what would you like to hear most in a letter to you?
I would love a love letter. I will, because I don't ever get receive of letters. So, me, I I do write letters, but not all the time. Or like sometimes, like I write myself a letter on my
Oh, good for you.
diary.
Yes. Let me ask you
Whenever
something.
I'm
Denise, do you ever think about, like, writing in your diary is great and all kinds of journals, but do you ever think of writing yourself a letter, an actual letter? Dear Anise, here's what I want to say about what I think of you, to yourself. We get to talk to ourselves, and put it in an envelope, stamp it and mail it to your address. And when it gets there in the mail, you get to open it and read it. And you're going to see what I think is a really interesting thing, that the you who wrote it and the you who are reading it can be two different people. You know, you get to see yourself shining through the light of your own eyes. And I don't know how many of us really often do that. Would you consider doing that?
Yes, I thought about doing that before,
Okay, I
but
hope,
I guess yes, like now of what's been right now, I think I should like.
yes,
I
I
didn't
think you
think
should
about
too. And by the way, you can do it. I mean, I like this idea. I don't know if you will, but you can do it once a month. Like, pick a date, like the 5th of every month, whatever it is, once a month, drop yourself a note. And at the end of a year, you're going to have quite a wonderful collection of all
That's
the good
wonderful.
you know about yourself. I hope you do that.
Yes.
I hope. So you said you'd like to get a love letter. Are you involved with somebody romantically?
No,
If I
I'm
may.
currently single. I love being single. Don't get me wrong. I love being single. Like that's helps me like focus on myself, and
Good.
that's why I like writing on my diary
Yes. Yes.
about how I'm feeling and what do I succeed in the future, what
Excellent.
what I want for me, and what of my hard work and the things I need to focus on.
Do you have a big family?
Yes, I do.
You're
Yeah.
smiling. Is that a good thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Right. With everybody is, of course. So you've got a lot of people that you could drop a note to. Yes. And I want to show you something. Can I take a little minute for a little, and by the way, those envelopes, I'm going to show you something. I'm a big believer in stickers on the envelopes, and they make so many wonderful stickers in life. I mean, oh, here's one. Okay, here's a collection of little insects. No, I happen to like those, but you got to be careful who you send that to. So I think choosing the sticker can be really a part of the fun. I mean, oh, look, here's a whole bunch of little animals. And when people get an envelope and they see it all filled with stickers, somebody knows that you've gone to extra effort. Well, thank you, dear, for talking to me about this.
You're welcome.
I love it. I love this. I love today.
Me too.
Oh my God, we have so many people.
And by the way, David,
Yes.
I can see that everybody, I can see, and I think this is true across the board, everybody could use a love letter. Everybody could use a letter saying, here's what I remember about you. Here's how you helped me. I remember how beautiful you looked in that blue dress. I remember to the guys, whatever. I remember when you made that touchdown. Whatever it is you remember. Girls can make touchdowns too. Yes, I know that. And guys can wear blue dresses. So whatever it is that you feel like sending that you remember positively, why not do it? If you have a positive thought, what's the point of keeping your mouth shut about it? Wouldn't it be better to express it? And one of the things about that is you get to bathe in the positive. It helps our blood pressure. It helps everything, makes us healthier. Studies have shown that it makes us healthier. And when we write by hand, it makes us a little smarter. That's what they say, that when you write things by hand, your brain is working better. So that's something to consider.
Hey, I think we have T-Bone Antonio Williams next.
How you doing?
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you, dear?
I'm good.
I'm glad.
I am a producer. I am a producer and I'm a writer and
Okay.
I'm a singer and a rapper. But
And a what?
and a rapper. I'm a rapper and I write my own personal music and my music is based on my relationships that I used to have. When I used to have a relationship, my music is based on my relationship, what I've been through in life.
Okay, that's important. That's important. It sounds like you have a lot in here and in here that you can express.
And not only that, it's real hard for me to write every time I write a letter to someone, and when I express my feelings, I
So
end up getting hurt, but I still write them anyway. But
is it hard for you physically to do it?
no, physically, yeah, but basically, I just put them in my head, and then eventually when I get time, I put them on.
Because you know what I want to say is we all know how we feel. And sometimes if we have a physical reason that it's hard for us to sit and write a letter, we can get somebody to help us. And I've done this.
Oh yeah, I have people that help me, but sometimes I put them on my phone when I record my stuff. Sometimes I put them on my phone or wait till I can have someone help me. But see, I write letters because my emotions
Good.
about a female is very deep. Because I've been in a lot of relationships in my life. Right now, I'm not involved with nobody,
Well, that's
but-
wonderful. And I'll tell you something. Somebody's
but,
gonna.
but it is somebody that I care about very much.
Good. You know, when you write a letter to somebody about a relationship or based on, it's your own story in your own words. And it's so worth getting that down on paper because you might like to look at it in another 20 years and see how you're feeling today. That's a lesson that's good for us. And, you know, love letters.
That's a lesson to be learned.
Pardon, one more time, say?
It's a lesson to be learned to write letters and let people know how you feel, even though you might get rejected, but you still have to let that person know how you feel, even though it might hurt you in the long run, because I didn't did it. I didn't did it before.
Well, I'll tell you something.
I have no problem expressing my feelings about somebody.
Good. I wish you a long life of expressing yourself and letting people know how you feel.
Thank you.
I can tell that you're a wonderful man. This is good.
Nice meeting you, and I hope to see you again.
Thank you. Bye.
Raise your hand if you wanna be on with Janet. I see some people raise their hands already, but anybody keep raising your hand. I'm just looking through here.
See somebody raise their hand.
There's Pam. There's Pam.
Hi.
Hi, where are you?
Hi,
there
how
you
you
are.
doing?
Hi, Pam.
Hi, what's your name,
Hi.
Janet?
Yes, yes.
Hi.
Hi. Well,
I
let's,
write to, got my Olivia and John picture here. I'm a big fan of hers.
oh, who is that picture?
That's Olivia and John.
Ah,
You see
okay.
her?
I do. I
That's
do.
Olivia and John. I got her autograph right down the bottom.
Oh,
here.
how nice. Have you ever written a letter to the performers that you like?
Yeah, I wrote to
Fan,
Olivia
a
and
fan
John.
letter. Pardon?
Huh?
A fan letter?
Yeah, I wrote to Olivia and John. I write to her in a nice way. I tell her I'm a big fan of hers. I like the movie she's in. She was in Greece.
I know. I've
And-
seen it 400 times. I love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like Olivia and John. I like everybody's movies too. I like John Cryer, Susan Day. I write a lot of fan letters.
Oh, you do? Okay. So where do you send them? To the studios?
I send it to there. And then I send it to there, and then the secretary gets it.
That's right. Sometimes you can find the address of their agencies. Oh, I know this is so important to performers.
I write it to their address and the fan address, and they send it to over there.
Good. Have you ever gotten a letter back from any of these people?
Yeah, I did. I got a letter back. I got when I went her, I got that photo back.
Uh-huh.
I got pictures of many pictures autographed too, and I got letters back.
Can I ask you something? Do you have them from other actors also?
Yes, I did. I
There's
also write I got their address. I sent it in an envelope because they told me to send, and I just said write it down and put it in the envelope.
That's
and
right.
then Get a self-addressed envelope. I do that.
Oh,
and
good.
send it to
Oh, that makes it easier. Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have a
Because
little,
they have it, they said,
do you have a nice,
that's hearts too.
do you have a little collection of stickers to put on the envelopes?
Yeah, I do that too.
Good.
And
Okay.
then I put a long envelope. And they said to make it neat too, when you send a fan address to somebody, you put a left-hand corner, your address and your
You know
fan
something?
and self-addressed,
I wanna-
with your name
Pam,
and address.
I want to thank you because you just reminded me of something so important. Now, you
What's
said
that, Jenna?
when you write to these performers, you send a self-addressed stamped envelope. And I think that's a wonderful thing to do with anybody. If we're writing letters to a friend and we know that friend, might feel that it's hard to find the time, you send a self-addressed stamped envelope and you say, I'm sending you an envelope so you can write back to me. That's particularly good if we are writing to children or grandchildren. We want to hear from them. Why not?
Right.
I think it's a
Yeah.
good idea to encourage people. Okay, thank you.
Okay,
That's wonderful. Thank you, dear, for sharing that.
That was nice. That was nice.
That's a good idea about the self-addressed stamped envelope. And ordinarily, I think that when you send a love letter, you've sent a gift and you don't, get to call people and you don't get to say, didn't you get my letter? And how come I haven't heard from you? That's up to them.
Yeah.
Whether they have the ability or the energy or the desire to write back. But I think, thank you, Pam, that some people may be feeling a little, hard to find the time and a little lazy about writing. And if you help them out with a self-addressed stamped envelope, and you can put a sticker on that one back to you too, well, maybe they'll find that exactly is the help they need to get back to you. And maybe it'll start them on a little journey of writing love letters. And if they can't, and if they don't respond to it, that's not your business. The point is you put a gift in the mail and sent it off. But I like that self-addressed stamp envelope. Okay, who's next?
Lanzarote Record.
Yeah, that's me, David.
Hi, Lanzarote.
Hi, Janet.
How are you? What's in your background? It looks like I mean, I can see that it's Asian alphabet, but what is it?
It's called Chinese.
It's what?
Chinese.
Oh, it is Chinese. Now, do you speak it?
Yeah. Yeah, I speak it.
And can you read what's there?
I don't know.
I'm always amazed. It looks so complicated and so beautiful. But you know, if you grow up learning something. So tell me about you and writing a letter. Have you ever written one to somebody?
No, because I love my family. I love I love God. I love Jesus. I love going to I love go to I love go to the church.
Good for
I,
you.
lo- I love my family, my brother, my
Okay, so let
mother.
me ask you something. Would your brother love to see a letter from you in his mail pile? I mean, I bet he would. Just a little note that tells him how much you love him.
Yes, I do.
I hope you'll do it, but I have another thought. I had somebody recently, and he'll be on my YouTube channel, Love Letters Live, soon. And when I asked him who he would write a love letter to, and he's not the only person who has said this, he said he would write one to God. What about you?
And for me,
Just
well,
say thank you for all the blessings, and then you just list them out.
I love to read. I love to read the Bible.
Nice.
Yeah, I want to tell you something. I want to tell you something about the Bible. You know,
Okay.
I learned about Jesus because Jesus told the Peter and his disciples, and Jesus said, Peter, go get the fisherman. Go give me some fish. So if you cook a fish, put a fish on a pot and cook them and eat them. And gave thanks because I could say the Bible said, "Take my yoke and learn me. And learn by God." So if you learn by God, God, real God, because I learned my own teacher is David, John, Megan, Christian Brown, uh, Damien, nobody else.
You know what? It sounds like you've got a lot in your heart, and a lot of people that you could send a little "I love you" note to. Now, when you go to church, do you go to the same church every Sunday?
Every Sunday, and today's Wednesday. I'm going to like
Is there a minister of? Because you could always write a letter to whoever leads the prayers at church also.
well, we not can do that in the church, but tonight
I had
Well, you know
I,
what? I know you'll find a way to send
I
your love.
got the I'm going to Bible class tonight at 7:00.
Oh, good. Okay. And who teaches that?
His name Pastor Irvin Shalom.
So you could always write him a little note and say, thank you for everything I learned, and just give it to him and leave. Maybe you'll do that.
Mm,
You could think about it. And if you decide to do it, you know you can. Right?
okay. Yeah. I love my family
Good.
because I want to cry because I love my father.
Yes, of course.
My father's not here,
Oh,
and someone took my father's life.
that's a wonderful idea. And you get to have all the good memories, just
Yeah.
like he's right there with us. That's the
Mm.
truth. When you write a letter to someone you love who's no longer on this earth with us, it brings them back right into our hearts. Okay,
And,
you've got a lot you could do. I want to thank you for saying
and
that.
another verse, I love to be baptized already.
Good for you.
Thank you, Lanzarote.
Thank you, Lanzarote. Nice to meet you, dear. Take care.
Isn't this wonderful, everyone?
Yes, it is, David.
It really is great. I love having Janet here and having her come and visit with us. You know, of course, she came to visit us at the studio, and now she's here. We did a couple of Meet the Biz interviews, and of course, you could always watch her at on her show, Love Letters Live. And there she is. All right. And what we could do next is actually go to Caleb Hansen. So
Mhm.
get out of the way. We're back from the break. And
Yeah, that was a fast 2 minutes, I must say.
I know it was.
It goes fast.
There we go. Caleb Hansen is next.
Thanks, David.
Hi there, Caleb. Oh, I
Hey,
see
Janet.
Caleb and Judith. Do I get two for the price of one
My
here?
mother, yes.
Yeah, Judy's there, huh, Judy?
Okay, well, we can talk one at a time. Caleb, I can see you.
Yeah, you can.
Yes. So, okay. So is this a couple here or is this friends or who?
Well, friends, I guess.
I'm mom. I just
Oh.
kind of help out with the machine and that stuff.
Oh, mom is important. Yes,
Yes,
hi
it
there,
is, yes.
Judith. So let's talk about letter writing. I think I just want to say one of the things that I know is that all of us want to know that we are important to people. We all want to know that somebody finds us attractive. We all want to know that somebody sees what's good about us. And we all want to know that for the things that may be a little difficult about us, I got my own list, that people are willing to just pay no attention to. Yes. So I think that's, I know my mother used to be very happy with the idea because I used to say, you highlight the good and you just kind of ignore the not so good. And that made her very happy because we've all got little areas, that we could have ignored. And we've all got areas of such goodness that it's wonderful to get it in a letter. So Judith, are you a letter writer?
I am. I write some, yes.
When you were growing up, we wrote letters, right?
Yes, much more than now.
Right.
Yeah, but I still write, at the holidays, and
Nice.
I still write sometimes, sure.
Did you write letters to friends like in high school when you were over summer?
Well, not really, no.
So
Well,
go ahead.
thank you. Well, yes, well, I do want to send one to my best friend Paris at the studio in the, at the Visual Arts studio.
Have you ever written one to your mother?
Well, not really. I haven't thought about it.
I bet she'd like one. I don't know. That's kind of spoils the surprise if you get one, does it, Judith?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Wouldn't you love to get one?
Sure,
Yes.
of course. You're right. It's really a treat to see a handwritten note from from any acquaintance in that stack of junk mail. It's wonderful.
Right. And by the way, I think somebody once asked me, is it rude to ask somebody to write you a love letter? No, if you want one, you should be able to ask. Write
You're
me a
right.
love letter, take a little piece of paper and tell me what you love about me. Tell me what your favorite meal that I cook is. Tell me what makes you think I look the prettiest. Tell me the thing that you like doing with me the best. What do you remember from when you were 4 years old? If any, you can just set out the tone of it.
So far, Caleb, his favorite thing to do is to write fan letters to someone
Oh.
because he really
Yeah.
likes to do that, especially on their birthday. He'll look up one of his favorite stars or something like that, look up their birthday and write them a letter on their birthday.
Oh,
Right.
fan letters are fabulous. And you know,
Yeah.
yes, these performers, they just give their whole hearts, you know, in front of a camera or on stage, and they pour everything out. And musicians, so generous what they do. And of course they want letters. Who are your favorite fans that you've written to?
Oh, I guess Michael Jackson
Elvis.
and
Elvis.
yeah, Elvis too, I guess.
Oh, yes, right. Now, when did you write your last one to Elvis?
I think it was
High school.
oh yeah, high school.
Long time ago.
So he was still with us.
No, actually, Caleb was only 4 when he
Okay.
passed. But
Yeah.
and Michael Jackson wasn't with us.
And who?
Michael Jackson wasn't with us when he wrote to him either, but he wrote to their families
That's what, oh, good. I'm so
Right,
glad you brought
Janet.
that up.
on behalf of Michael. Yes.
Because there's always some place to send it. A person doesn't have to be here on this earth with us to get a letter. Because there are families, there are children. Yes. That's wonderful to know. Thank you for saying all this, because I think fan letters is just one of the greatest group of love letters that we can do. I've written a few myself, and you know what? I've gotten answers back.
Mm.
Yes, I actually wrote one to Queen Elizabeth
Ah,
at some
Oh.
point, just because I was impressed with something she did. And I felt for her, you know, her life isn't, I mean, it's complicated. And I actually wrote to her grandmother to grandmother. And I got a letter back on the Royal Stationery. It was gorgeous. And it was from one of her ladies in waiting, but still,
Very cool.
you often hear back.
It's very cool.
Pardon me?
It's very cool.
Yeah, it was. Anyway, yes, so every fan letter you write is going to be a treasure to the person who gets it. Thank you for talking about that.
Anytime, Tiger.
Yeah, thank you, dear. Nice to meet you, Caleb and
You
Judith.
too.
Glad you're there. Bye.
Janet, I have one question of you before we go to the next person.
Sure.
Let me see here. You have letters like the Queen Elizabeth letter. Do you ever framed any of your letters?
No, I don't, but I keep them all in files, you know? Yes. I mean, if it, you know, I probably wouldn't frame it anyway, but it was quite a shockerino to get an envelope from Buckingham Palace.
Yes.
You know, I didn't expect anything back, but my goodness, those people do have some good manners. Yes.
Good to have something, you know, Buckingham Palace. I didn't get anything close to that, but I did get, I guess, Hollywood royalty. I sent a little note one day to Katharine Hepburn.
Oh.
And I sent it out there just saying, I'm an actor, I'm about to go to LA, and I've studied to, you know, I've wanted to be in this business, and thank you for your inspiration, and you make me move forward in my life. And I forgot about it. And then I'd say a couple months later, maybe 3 months later, I got this letter from New York, and it didn't have an address. And I said, what's this? I open it up, and it says Katharine Houghton Hepburn.
Wow.
So,
Do you remember what it said?
dear David Zimmerman.
For the tone of it. I mean, she was encouraging you back.
Thank you for your sweet note and good luck to you, Katharine Hepburn.
How lovely. How nice. Yes. I tell you, human connection is the best. And you know, while I've got you here, can we talk for a minute about the letter that you wrote to your aunt?
Oh, yes.
And you know, there's a point here to be made, because I talk, and it happens to me all the time when I'm writing a letter to somebody I care about. And I find that I'm writing and I'm smiling as I'm writing because I'm bathing in the positive. Go ahead.
I wrote a letter. My aunt was very ill, and I wanted to be sure to let her know everything and how I felt about her. So I sat down. It was very hard, but I wrote a letter to her telling her how much I love her. And then I went. She was in not a hospital, but a what is it? Anyway, she was in a recovery place. Or
Mhm.
I sat there. I wrote the letter, and I walked in, and I said, "May I read you a letter that I have written to you?" And she said, "I would love it." And so I sat there next to her and read this letter about how growing up she was my favorite aunt, and her cooking and her being there for me and always being proud of me, and then I'd say a month later she passed.
Uh-huh.
And then just about several weeks ago we had the unveiling for her stone, and my cousin wanted me to lead the service, and she asked me, she says, "Can you read that letter that you read to Mom and wrote to her?" And I said, "Okay." So during the service I read that, and it was fascinating and healing to have read this letter to her before she passed, and then to have read it
Oh,
afterwards at her unveiling.
what was the difference in those two readings?
You know, I mean, I was there with her when I first read it to her.
Did her expression, what could you tell by her expression that she was taking it all in?
Yeah, when I read it to her, I could see she was looking at me and taking it all in, and I was taking it in. And we, you know, we held hands.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was a extremely important thing. I just knew I had to do it. It's one of those moments in life, you know, it's like, I have to do this.
Good for you.
And then to have my cousin ask me to read it, I think several of the people at the service came up to me afterwards and said, "Thank you for reading."
Oh my goodness. Okay, so that's just the strength of it. And that letter will be a gift forever to her children and grandchildren. And you know, when somebody finds those letters in 50 years from now, they'll know what a great legacy they came from, won't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, sometimes people are a little intimidated or afraid of writing to somebody who's terminally ill.
Yeah.
And I can understand that, because what do you say? You know that you can't wish for, at some point in life, a speedy recovery or any recovery.
Yeah.
So what do you do? And I think what you did just said it perfectly. You put down the reasons you loved her, you put down what she was to you and what she did for you. And you did something, and I'll tell you, I think when people who are, I mean, I've written a couple myself, and when people who are very close to death get a letter like this, first of all, I think people are afraid of, well, you know, it sounds like I'm saying goodbye. Okay, nothing wrong with that, if that's something you can do and feel comfortable doing. But it's received, I believe, more like a hello.
Well, you know, it was interesting too, that when I read it at her unveiling, it felt like it was a hello from her as well.
Okay. So
it
there's so many facets. Yes.
facets.
And I think, I had an experience once myself with a group of us went to see a friend, a mutual friend, and we had all worked together as probation officers. And she was very sick, stomach cancer, and she had been propped up on the sofa by her caregiver, and she was the color of chalk. She was always very beautiful and very light skinned, but she was no color and had lost so much weight that she looked skeletal. Anyway, we came in and one of our foursome said to me, I brought a letter that I wrote to her years ago when we were all young and first married. Could I read it to her? I said, absolutely. And she did. And as she was reading this letter, Marian's color came into her cheeks. Her smile was indescribably beautiful. Her eyes brightened. It took her back to her strongest self at a time when she needed that. And is that not a gift? Yes. You should always feel, if you can, with the help of those who love you, you should always be able to feel your strongest and most vibrant. Why not? Okay, thank you for sharing that experience with your aunt.
For asking me that. Thank you.
I love that. I love the importance of it and how it just, went from living to not living to generation down.
Yeah.
Okay. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
And I have to thank you for it because you during that time, you even said, have you thought of writing a letter? And you were the one who helped me.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad.